Hello everybody and welcome to Green Star Trading with me, Tom. All views, opinions and ideas expressed in this video are my own and do not constitute financial or trading advice in any way. Right, today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin. I have two counts to present to you in the Elliott wave section of this video. One is bearish in the short term, one is bullish in the short term, but both are bullish in the long term. Right then, before we do that, we're going to start with our basic technical analysis as always though, and start off with a rundown of the chart in case you're new here. So, all the numbers and letters, that's our Elliott wave count, we'll talk about that later, just going to move it out of the way. We have 4 exponential moving averages on the chart, 10 in yellow, 20 in blue, 60 in orange, 250 in green. We have a volume profile on the right hand side here showing all the various peaks and troughs of the buy-sell volume, the extreme of which is marked by this yellow dashed line here which we call the point of control. We have an RSI set to a 10 close with the green 30 level representing oversold conditions and the red 70 level representing overbought conditions. We have a MACD with a 10 for the short-term moving average in blue and a 20 for the long-term moving average in orange and a 9 to smooth. Right, we're on the weekly time frame in arithmetic scale. What can we see? Pretty small range for the week, roughly around 7% when I measured it earlier. So it is Thursday, we're not done yet, but we haven't really gone anywhere this week. We've just been consolidating sideways. This is roughly the same thing we've been doing now for the last 4 weeks. Not much of a swing really talking about Bitcoin. Still above the 10, 20, 60, 250 exponential moving averages, miles away from the point of control. The most notable thing here, beyond the shadow of a doubt, on the weekly time frame is the increasingly, should I use the word extreme? Well, the bearish divergence which has been increasing this whole time. We have a high on the week of the 4th of Jan, we have a high on the week of the 15th of Feb, and we have a high on the 8th of March. And we have a high, higher high, and higher high given those dates, but we also have a high, lower high, and lower high on the RSI. This is what we call bearish divergence. It's a build-up of bearish pressure underneath the price action. Although price is going higher, momentum is weakening the whole time. We have the MACD telling us the exact same story, a series of dark green bars in the histogram decreasing in size as the short-term moving average flattens out and starts to roll over, ready to give a bearish signal and cross over the long-term moving average, the 20 here. So we could undo all of this divergence with a pop to the upside. A big violent pop to the upside would push us back into overbought conditions. If we take out this high on the 8th of March or even the high on the 15th of Feb, we can undo most of this bearish divergence and push higher. If we break down from here, it will be confirmation of this bearish divergence, and therefore the corrective idea of a move lower is probably the right one. However, if we see a violent break to the upside, then we can stay bullish. Even with these divergences, they can sometimes just disappear on their own, or they can even take longer to play out. You could potentially set another lower high on the RSI while the price continues up. Let's move down to the day time frame. Okay, so roughly trading around the 10 exponential moving average on the daily time frame today. Quite a nice move back up. Above the 20, above the 60, above the 250 exponential moving average as well. Currently trading in all this node of volume here. We can see this is just simply these 3 waves that we've seen narrowing. We're going to talk about this potential narrowing wave pattern we've got here, because this could be a triangle that's forming. That would help support our bearish or more short-term bearish view of a triangle pop up and then move down. Right, so RSI has us in neutral territory between 40 and 60. We're neither oversold nor overbought. We're continuing to swing inside that neutral territory as we consolidate. A narrowing of the highs and lows within the RSI with the MACD as well would also support the idea of a triangular pattern. That tends to be, momentum should support the pattern when we're talking about a symmetrical triangle. We can see that it's roughly going on here. We do have a lower low than this low here though, but since then the price has essentially just flatlined, or the momentum has essentially just flatlined with the price. So that's our basic analysis. Let's bring up our count here. Now this is the bearish count. It's the exact same count we've been working on for a couple of weeks now. Like I said, both are the same. They take time to play out. So the way I see this for the bearish short-term bearish view is we're doing this. The B doesn't have to come this far out in time. It could be very close. I always manage to move the whole thing when I don't want to, because I click on the line rather than the dot, and then manage to only move the dot when I want to move the whole thing. Doesn't matter how much I use TradingView. Anyway, so A down, B up. I've got the B finishing. I've got it up higher here than I really need, so I should really pop the C here and say the target is the 1.618 extension of the A, which is at 67. 986 spot 26. So we could have a run up in price here up into the B before we come down 5 waves into the C. The C is simply set at a 38.2% retracement of the primary wave 3 up at I've got this as 37532 spot 76, but the line puts it at 37405 spot 28. It's roughly the same place. That's 38.2% retracement of the wave 3 up. Another thing we could do in arithmetic scale here, we just come into full screen of the chart so we can get a better view. Let's come down to 4-hour time frame, compress things up a little bit so we can get a clearer look at this price action. Alright then, so let's just hide that wave. Okay, so another way of looking at this would be, assuming we get our 1.618 extension, we could take our fib tool from the top of the wave A to the bottom of the wave A, come up to where we're projecting our wave B, and we can see that the 1618 actually brings us back to the previous low here at 43175 spot 42. So if we were to go this high up in an expanding pattern, we wouldn't necessarily have to come all the way back to the 38.2, which is a typical wave 4 retracement. We probably find ourselves in the neighborhood of the 23.6 instead, which coincides with the 1.618 extension of the A. So no guarantee we're going to go up that high in this corrective pattern if this bearish count is correct, this short-term bearish count. But let's just for a minute look at the two ways we can count it. So, internal corrective structure ABC inside of the B wave. What do I mean by that? A 3-wave move like this. So 5 waves we can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into an A, B, C into a B. So on this idea, ignoring this triangle pattern, which I will show you in a minute, we would be looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to complete the C, get a zigzag A, B, C. This takes us to the 1.618 target of the length of A. Another target would be 100% parity. So if we come up to the top of the A, come down to the bottom of the B, we find 100% parity at 69,344 spot 27, just above the 1.618. This would be a perfectly acceptable target for an expanding flat, or the B wave of the expanding flat. So let's just mark another line here, put this in white. Okay, and we'll lock this in position, get ourselves another call out, pop this one up here, and we'll call this A to C parity. Okay, of wave, and do it in capital so I know which wave I'm referring to. Can we move that into red just to be really kind of pedantic? Oh, it does the whole thing. Oh well. Okay, there we go. So there's another target up here. Let's just lock that in place as well. Is that line locked? I can't remember if I did. Yes, I did. So this would be the idea of a zigzag off for a B wave. So 5, 3, 5, up into this neighborhood here, anywhere around this area. So we're between this at 1.618 and the 1-to-1 parity of A and C. So let's just lock that in place as well while we're here. Alright, so that's option 1. It's still the same bearish count, it's still a 3-wave structure, okay? Going up and then down. But there's one other way of getting there. And the other way of getting there is that we're in a triangle for the B wave of our ABC into our intermediate wave B. So let me show you what that would look like. We simply come down to here for an A, which we've already done, 3-wave move. And then we've done, you could argue this is a zigzag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, 1, 2, I mean, that gets a bit tricky there, doesn't it? Maybe there's a diagonal in here, but it's not pretty. A, B, 3-wave move back down, C, D, E. Looking at the way the substructure is forming at the moment, I'm not particularly fond of that, but we'll just leave it there as an option for the moment. So we could be going A, B, C, D, E into the B, and then a thrust up into finish that pattern. But it doesn't matter where we've done an A, B, C here and we're coming up here, or whether we've got to waste a bit more time while the altcoins catch up, consolidate sideways for a bit longer before we break higher. Either way, the overall structure is a 3-wave move higher. Okay, and then once that completes, we would be looking at 5 waves lower, like this. So we come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, find our C wave target either at the blue line here at 43045 spot 14, or all the way down to the 38.2% retracement at 37532 spot 76, and that would be wave 4 on the primary degree done, and then off we go back to the moon. And that's it. That's the bearish count. So we're running out of time here. I'm really it's a bit one of those complicated patterns that you got to spend time to explain it. So let's just come over and have a look at the bullish count. This one's really easy and doesn't take any time to explain at all. So let's just get to it, to the 4-hour time frame here. So really simple, super duper simple, is we're just doing a series of 1-2s before we break up into a 3rd wave higher, and then this is uber bullish. This has us racing up into a wave 5, and probably, maybe, even running the extension of all the waves move up into cycle wave 1. I've got it projected as. This could be the extension in the wave 5. I've already looked at it as though the extension appeared in the wave 3, but this is crypto, we just don't know. You know, sometimes that wave 5 can be mental. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3 in minute, 4, 5, and that brings us into the minor 3 somewhere up here, who knows where. Doing it again, see what I mean? Doing it again, moving the whole thing. Okay, so 3, 4, 5 into this 3. This is why I've just left all the labelling up here. None of this is projected as of yet. Okay, we'd be looking at a 1.618 extension of the intermediate wave 3 from the 2. We'd be looking at a 1.618 extension of the 2 inside of it on the minor time frame, and the same again on this 2. So if this count is correct and we're simply building up a series of 1-2s in subwave structure, so we've got intermediate 1-2, and all of this ensuing price data is inside of intermediate 3, and the minute 2 is inside of minor wave 2, and so on and so forth on the minuet time frame, and so on and so forth, until we finally run up and finish minor wave 3, 4, intermediate wave 3, 4, primary wave 5, 1. And none of this is projected where it should be. I've just thrown all the numbers up here so I can grab them as and when the price comes up to meet them, and I can organise the count that way. So that's it. If this is bullish and we've just done another 1-2, we've got a 3-wave structure here. You could argue there's a 5-wave structure prior to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there somewhere. It's not particularly tidy. And then you've got 3-wave move here, like this. Okay, so in theory, if that's a 1-2 on the minute time frame, then we should come straight through the previous high at 62.061 spot 94 and just keep going. And just keep impulse waving in, keep impulsing 5-3, 5-3, 5-3, 5-3, all through all the different subwaves and through all the different wave degrees until we get all the way to the top. And that should be it, really, at the end of the day. Because if we've done a primary 3-4 in this time frame, this should accelerate like buggery out of here. At the moment, we're just moving sideways, so I think my preference is towards this flat pattern still, that we're going to come up into a bit of a bull trap beyond the previous high, grab a lot of extra or spare cash and new cash, and then dump, you know, and have a proper shakeout of the Bitcoin price. Now, the only reason I'm leaning towards that is because of this extreme divergence between RSI and price that just keeps building up over time, suggesting that the price's momentum's weakening over the long term, and a serious correction on primary degree, which we would be in, primary 3 to 4, needs to occur sometime soon to shake out you know, some of the money sloshing around and to reset the momentum parameters so that we can actually push higher in another primary wave. But that's all conjecture. The bullish count is still valid, so it could go flying. Anyway, that's it, guys. That's all I've got for you on Bitcoin this week. First, one thing before I go, I want to thank my patrons who've signed up so far to the Patreon. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you're interested yourself in having a look what I'm offering, there's a link to my Patreon in the description below. You can find it in the YouTube banner as well on my YouTube channel, and you can find it in my Twitter feed as well, which there is also a link to in the description below. If you're interested, go over and have a read of the tiers that are available, and if you're interested, consider becoming a Patreon. Alright then, if you're new to the channel and you like what you're seeing here, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a big thumbs up, and let us know what you think in the comment section below if you want to. Hit the bell notification icon to remain informed of future videos. And that's it guys, I will be back with you later in the week. Take care, all the best.